the Trevor Jackson podcast.
You know, I got a clip from a content creator talking about Drake taking shots at Hove and everything, and he broke it down for me because, you know, I was on vacation last week. I didn't have time to be breaking it all down. I was enjoying life at the Chateau Alon, drinking that summer peach wine in Georgia. Beautiful day with my beautiful wife and my sister-in-law, having the time of our life. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to the music, but I wasn't engaged in the foolishness like that. So let this young brother break it down, then we're going to continue on with the conversation.
When Drake rap,
I'm a 6-side renegade. For anybody adding more lemons to the lemonade.
he may have been taking a shot at Jay-Z, something he made sure to do all throughout the ICEMAN album. The term 6-side is an obvious reference to Toronto, Drake's hometown, also known as the Six. But two words made this line stick out, the first being renegade. Because hip-hop fans know that renegade isn't just a random word, but also the title of one of Jay-Z's most famous songs. And even though it's Jay-Z's song, the conversation around that record has always been that Eminem out-rapped him on. And that criticism has followed Jay for years. So much so that Nas even used it against him on his diss track,
Eminem murdered you on your own shit.
Drake calling himself a 6-side renegade could be more than just calling himself a rebel from Toronto, but also him connecting himself to a record that symbolizes somebody surpassing Jay-Z. Then comes the second word, lemonade. Now on the surface, he's talking about people making a good situation unnecessarily sour, but it's an interesting choice of words, because when most people hear the word lemonade in relation to Jay-Z, it's hard to not think about Beyonce's album, Lemonade, an album centered around Jay-Z's infidelity, betrayal, and the damage done inside their marriage. This wouldn't be the first time Drake has made a reference to the situation either. Back in 2024, Drake posted this cryptic picture of Solange on his story, a picture infamously known for being taken right after Solange beat up Jay-Z in an elevator, an incident that is rumored to have taken place because of Solange's frustrations over Jay-Z cheating on her sister, Beyonce. And that connects to another shot Drake appears to take at Jay on Too Hard for the Radio.
Damn, y'all was really island hopping back then. Yeah, I'm fucking power couples up. Yeah, acting like you love marrying your wife. Hey, boy, need to worry about a jury in your life. Hey.
Not only was Jay-Z one of two major hip-hop names referenced in the massive batch of Epstein files recently released, but he's also the one out of the two who is actually in one of the most famous power couples in the world. So between the Renegade reference and the Lemonade reference, the bar starts to feel a lot more layered. Even with all of that, the biggest story isn't necessarily the bar itself, but the history behind it. For over a decade, Jay-Z has happened to always be 1 degree away from many of Drake's biggest conflicts. When Drake battled Meek Mill, Meek was signed to Roc Nation, owned by Jay-Z, who has been rumored by the people involved to have a very integral part in the Meek Mill and Drake beef. When Drake battled Pusha T's diss track, The Story of Adidon, was actually delivered on Jay-Z's The Story of OJ instrumental. And most recently, of course, during the Drake and Kendrick beef, Kendrick was given the platform to perform at the Super Bowl by Jay-Z. Kendrick also specifically shouted out Jay-Z during a Grammy acceptance speech for Not Like Us. Am I saying that Jay-Z orchestrated all of these moments? Not necessarily. But for an artist that claims to be too big to care about Drake, Jay-Z does happen to be a common denominator in many of Drake's major conflicts. That's why I think ICEMAN is part of what may be the longest Cold War in hip-hop history. Two of the biggest artists hip-hop has ever seen quietly fighting over influence, power, and legacy for the last 15 years. And now that Drake has surpassed Jay-Z in multiple categories, from chart success to global reach to #1 albums, it seems that he is finally done pretending that everything is cool with Jay-Z. And knowing how competitive Jay-Z is and how important being the best is to him, I would not be surprised if we get a response from him sometime soon. Either way, based on this lyric, it looks like Drake has finally taken the gloves off and is ready for any rock thrown his way.
You know, I'm going to play the record, the bar. I'm going to read the bar and decipher the bar that Jay-Z mentioned Drake on the freestyle at the Roots picnic. But before I get into that, you know, that guy sparked some interest in me about beef and about Drake. You know, I'm not a fanatic for any of these individuals I'm about to mention, but I prioritize Jay-Z music the most because it resonates with me the most, because I'm from that era. I was 21 when The Blueprint was released. I feel like that's Jay-Z's best album. And to hear that at 21 years old, that financial literacy conversation, those songs, man, they hit different for me. I understand why people might resonate with Drake more. Drake is a very talented individual, but I'm starting to notice a pattern, you know. I assume this, but Meek Mill was sent after Drake, talking about the writers and all of this and the information that DJ Drama had released about his girl getting poked by Drake and all of that old type of stuff. Then you got Pusha T came. Pusha T did his thing, but it didn't knock Drake down. Kendrick Lamar, you know, they exalted Kendrick, let him perform at the Super Bowl. Not Like Us was a smash hit. But, you know, it ain't hurt Drake. It gave us a different perception of who he was, but he just dropped. ICEMAN. The numbers didn't go down. The music quality is still there. When I reacted to the album and reviewed the album, I did it a disservice because it's way flyer than anything that I could possibly give it. I rated it a 7 out of a 10. I feel like it's an 8.5 out of 10 now. Great album. But I want to play this audio from Joe Budden speaking about, you know, him and Drake have their odds. I like that they have their odds because, you know, they're very witty with how they disrespect each other. But let's play this audio. Let me shut up. Come on, X.
That don't bother you a little bit? That niggas be expecting you to just be a certain way all the time?
That's conditioning. He conditioned.
You condition? You think so?
I moved to the beat of my own drum at all times.
But he conditioned
At
people
all times. If you need to gain understanding about something I did, do it later. By the time I did it, I already know why I did it and contemplated over it for fucking months or weeks at a time and spent mad hours on it. So it's totally fine.
Also, when it comes to listening to music or reviewing music, like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I don't think that we put on airs up here for the most part.
They are the Drake fans, the Drake stands, the hyper stand people are spinning the block on all the people that had negative things to say during the battle.
They are.
So because of that, I think people were expecting me to hate. And saying that because I didn't hate, it's performative.
I saw
That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of the OVO check must have came, a call must have came, and yeah, because Joe didn't turn up, I gotta tell you, I was offended at all of it.
Same. I was real offended. Like if you know anything about niggas up here, it's like,
yo, I was hating when none of y'all was brave enough to hate. Who the fuck do y'all think y'all are talking to out there? You fucking New Jacks. It's 2026 going on 2027. Y'all trying to misrepresent history. I was hating way before it was cool just because that's how I felt. I don't need help to hate. I don't need to wait till it's cool outside to get my hate on. 1. 2, I seen niggas saying niggas is act.
Yeah.
Niggas is act. Anytime I'm saying nigga. That me hating was a business move. I was offended again because news flash, I make all the money when I'm the only hater. When I'm the sole nigga hating or with a bold opinion when all of y'all are going the other way, I make all the money. The one time you just actually like something and you like having a backbone and you're strong enough to get in there to say it, they want to paint your opinion as all of this other shit. It's absolutely
the
nothing.
flip side is if we would have went, let's say we all hated the projects.
I'm gonna cut Ice off. Salute to Ice. Salute to the Joe Budden podcast, dope podcast. I gotta turn my jazz back on because I'm feeling the vibe. Hold up. I'm feeling the vibe of the jazz. How many of y'all like jazz music or like multiple genres of music? You know, I love hip hop too though, but I really rock with jazz heavy for some reason. Turn that up. Okay. Yeah, we're catching the vibe. Can y'all like the artistry of an individual and not like the individual? That's basically what Joe Budden and his partners was talking about. You know, he lost the battle. He lost to Kendrick Lamar, the rap battle. He got out-rapped by Kendrick Lamar in those 7 to 14 songs that both of them released during that span in 2024 when they was going back and forth. He lost that. But ICEMAN is not a bad project, and if you say it is, you hating. It's a few records on there that's going to stand the test of time. That's high-quality records. Like how people saying that this Jay-Z freestyle is garbage also. People saying Drake album is garbage. I feel like people don't like people. They don't, you know what I'm saying, prioritize the artistry. The artistry is something different. Everybody can't put those words together like how these brothers putting those words together. And if you can do it, why ain't you did it? You can talk and turn your camera on and say you don't like some shit, but you can't, you know what I'm saying, articulate your words as good as these brothers can in some poetry and rhymes and put it out yourself. Or you would do it and you will make you a bag. This is a very interesting situation. I feel like Jay-Z and Drake has been the culprit in this beef the whole time, and it has come to a head. That's what I want to say. Will some records be produced from this? Will Drake respond because he initiated this? We just played the clip from the young brother who broke it down. He initiated this. Will he release a record now since Jay-Z said what he said? And if he do that, will Jay-Z respond? You know, Drake chained Akademiks as of recently when he did his last episode of the ICEMAN series live events that he was having. And we all know that Akademiks is a fanboy. He is a corporate and a person that prioritizes Drake. He's a spokesman for OVO and all of that. And I find that to be weird or whatever, though. But he said something that was interesting, though.
Goalpost, but he's saying, nah, that's the chart that matters. Then he says, niggas looked up to Hove. Hove never looked up to him, to them. Now, I told you, I think he could always get this line off on Jay-Z, on Drake and Kanye. However, I do think, if Drake ever wants to respond, which, by the way, I think Drake should ignore this nigga. He should ignore this fuck nigga. This senile, Alzheimer's, fungus-infested ass motherfucker should be ignored. Honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. My advice is that Drake should treat him like how he would have. You remember how Jay-Z treated like niggas like Jim Jones in The Game back in the day? That's how Drake should treat Jay-Z now. Boy, I just dropped the hottest album. I'm the only thing moving in hip hop right now, gang. Even your moment you had to make about me. This is your first pop out. Nobody remembers. Yes, by the way, he reunited back with Freeway and Beanie Siegel on stage. Nobody's talking about nothing else other than him dissing Drake. If I'm Drake, I treat Hove like the little nigga like that he is.
The little nigga that he is highly disrespectful. Let me go ahead and read it. The jig is up, nigga. I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. Niggas looked up to Hove. I never looked up to them. That's a direct response to Drake's recent Iceman era lyrics about older rappers and the phrase, the jig is up. Jay-Z is reminding listeners that younger artists grew up looking up to him, not the other way around. I gotta say something, man. Jay-Z from the trenches, man. He from the trenches. Him making it out and becoming the success that he has became, it's unprecedented, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It's unprecedented. It ain't too many people, or Jay-Z may be the only man on the planet that can say he came from the trenches and became a billionaire that I know of. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I like what Drake is doing. He's a hell of a talented individual. I like his music. But, man, it ain't really no comparison. Hove don't even need to speak. Ack is trying to use Hove tactics against him and tell Drake don't respond to this. I think that would be smart also, Ack, for him not to respond to that and just back down, because Jay-Z is different. I don't know too many rappers he bodied, to be honest, like career-ending bodied. He got smoked by Nas. We all know that. He got disrespectful and apologized, talking about skeeting on the baby seat and all of that. But what could he do to Drake? Real talk. Is there anything that he could do to Drake that could annihilate Drake, that could hinder Drake's career? I kind of doubt it, man.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.